But before I leave, and this is the mind-blowing thought that I had and this is why I started this session recalling that post that I wrote, where I wrote that the world needs more artists and less Elon Musk's and Travis Kalanick's. The thought is that they're obviously, this criminal network, and in particular, I don't want to talk so much about the criminal network itself, but about the geopolitics behind it. So it seems obvious to me at this point, looking at all this, that people like Xi Jinping see software engineering as a weapon. So think about it for a moment. Like, if you are a country, let's not put a name to it, and this you can see it back in history even. Like, if you look back in history, when humans discovered that they could build vessels to float on the water, they started fishing with the vessels. But then somebody had the idea to mount a cannon on top of a vessel. And they created a warship, or a primitive, or the predecessor of a warship, okay? What happened next? Well, they started building navies, right? After they identified that they could turn this vessel into a warship, the next logical step is to build navies, to create this, to mass produce them, right? When atomic reactions were uncovered by humans, and they discovered that they could produce energy from atoms, what is that happened next? Somebody had the idea to create a weapon out of that. And after that happened, what happened next? Atomic proliferation. Different countries started creating them en masse. Where I'm going with this is that since they realized that they can use technology as a weapon to enslave all of us, the next logical step is to create an army of software developers. And I'm guessing, I don't have visibility into China's educational programs, but I'm guessing that that's what they're doing. They're creating an army of software engineers to fight that battle with that for the next 50 years. And in the Western world, we're not doing that. We're not prioritizing software engineering in our education systems. So we're in a situation in which the adversary is creating an army, and probably already has an army. And that's why you see the IT industry in the US dominated by Chinese, Russian, and Indian engineers. And there's practically no Americans or Hispanics in Google. I can tell you that because I worked there. Everybody was Indian, Chinese, or Russian. I was in Google search, I think I was the only one that was Hispanic, not even Venezuelan, but Hispanic. This was Alvaro Gutierrez, but he wasn't really, he was basically born and raised. I think he was born in Caracas, but he came here like when he was like 1 year old, right? But besides Alvaro, I think I was the only Hispanic. And that's the reason, is because it's a weapon. The software engineering, and the software engineers are the soldiers that they're creating. And so we're in a situation in which the adversary has an army and we don't have an army. That's why when I realized this morning, when I saw the bigrams, I realized that intuition that I had when I said, you need to combine the FBI with people from Google search. That's what it meant, is that you need an army of software engineers to fight this. And you will need it for the next 50 or 100 years. And we better start creating it now, because if we don't, they are going to enslave us all with this. It's inevitable. Even if we dismantle this network today, if they have 100 times more software engineers than the rest of the world, they will do it again in a more sophisticated way. So it's a terrifying thought, really. Think about it. Well, thank you so much for your time. And I don't mean to scare you, but I think it's a conversation that needs to happen. Like, how how do our educational systems adapt to this? Because it's a weapon. Like, while the entire planet is busy training soldiers on how to fire guns, they're training their soldiers on how to write code. They're fighting a completely different battle, and we don't even know it.